All right, has Bitcoin just bottomed at 100K? Was at the bottom at 100K, and now are we headed for a blow off top? If we're headed for a blow off top, then which altcoins should we get into? Is there still another dip coming? Right, that's what we're going to look at today. The total market cap of altcoins, the others, which are the smaller altcoins, mid caps, and maybe an update of some of the altcoins that we used to talk about a lot, which are doing well. Things like Fartcoin and Virtues. So first, let's have a look at where Bitcoin is right now. This was a solid weekly close. We had almost a bullish reversal pattern here. We didn't get that, but this was, if we had that, then I would be prepared to call 100K the bottom. We didn't get that, but at least we had a very strong weekly close here. Right, we had a very strong weekly close, and that doesn't mean that Bitcoin has bottomed 100K, but it does mean that at least for 1 week, for this week, and maybe even next week, it's not likely that we break down before 100K. So next 7 or 8 days, we can have a retrace of this week down, something like this, 102K even possible, and then push up, right? But if this consolidation pattern, if this topping pattern takes like 7 or 8 weeks to play out like this, right? Which I don't think it will. Let's say even if it takes 5 or 6 weeks to play out, then you could have a wick down, retest wick at 103, 102K, push up, even get to 113K, and everyone thinks, oh, we have a new blow off top, and we could still come down and swing sideways like this with the chance of 100K being pierced, and we get like one of those wick down to high 90s or even mid 90s possible in an extreme situation. So because we don't know how long this sideways action is going to take, I do think July would probably, at this rate, I do think in July we should be looking at somewhere above, we should be trading above 112K, like in a blow off top area. So in the very short term, as I've been saying, this is looking still slightly better now because we have lots of black rates here, still some greens. Like if we don't look at Bitcoin, everyone's shorting on Bitcoin. But if we don't look at Bitcoin, if we just look at ETH and the other coins, then it's probably more than 50% black and like 40% green and 10% red. So still a little bit more squeeze up to do. So a little bit more squeeze up to do. I'm not prepared to say that we're going to go straight up from here. It's possible. My instincts are we chop around a little bit more. The reason why is this: Bitcoin is waiting for the stocks. I think Bitcoin is waiting for the stocks to basically confirm or break into a new all-time high, and to confirm this move before we're kind of pretty close as well. The pullback I thought it was going to happen still hasn't happened yet, because, well, part of the reason is because the negotiations are going well. Like right now, Trump is sending a team for this entire week. Trump is sending a team into China, into London to negotiate with China. Trump's flying to China himself as well. So it's just been good news. Trump's just caved faster than anybody else would think, except Pablo, who called him Barney Rubble Caveman. That's a character from this Flintstone. But I called him Caveman multiple times publicly on Twitter, social media, in my Discord. But then which altcoins should we get into? Before we answer the question on altcoins, first let's answer the question of which crypto exchange does Pablo He-Man use? Well, Pablo uses this exchange that's non-KYC. That means you don't need an ID to sign up. That means anybody can join, even Americans, right? So I've made this deal with them, Bitunix link, over $8,000 just for newbies, just for joining, right? Signing up. So that means the IRS can't see you, the tax office can't see you, the FBI, CIA, nobody can see you, right? Up to 1.3 million global users already. This is the fastest growing non-KYC exchange in the world right now, and the largest non-KYC exchange in the world right now. Okay, so now if you are watching on YouTube, then the link is in the description below. The link is in the description below. But if you're on any other platform, that's okay. Just basically, such as this one, just go and click on my home profile page, and there's my stand link or link tree, right? and should be the first deal that pops up. Bitunix, because this is a great deal. Okay, let's get back to the markets. And remember, folks, this is only on the Pablo Heman link. All right, so for the for altcoins, what we're looking at is this. For altcoins, ETH weekly close has been pretty strong. Here is, well, I wouldn't say pretty strong, but it's the thing with ETH weekly close is that it's staying firmly in that range. It's showing us it's very comfortable. It's very comfortable with this price level. There's no intention to dip at all. That's not saying we can't get a dip, but really it's basically people are selling here, people are buying here. People are selling here, buying here, selling here, buying here. It's basically closed around 2,500 for 4 weeks in a row now. So it's comfortable at this 2,500 area, sorry, 2,500 area. And that's a bull flag. Probably takes a few, 3 to 4 more weeks of this kind of action, right? As I've been saying, this 2,300K is probably the support for ETH, and then up we go. Let's have a look at the total crypto market cap to figure out where the altcoins are going. So for this one, usually when we can break and then get way above a trend line like this, a major trend line like this. This is the trend line that supported pretty much the entire bull market. And then it's a very bullish signal. It's a fake out, right? Fake out all the bears, and then we get above. And then here, bull flag. Here was a bull flag that broke down, and we're forming. It's respecting this trend line again, and we could break above this trend line. That's what I think would happen. Give it a couple more weeks. The break above this trend line, this 1.22T area, would be massive, because not only is it breaking this bull flag, but it's also breaking the resistance set from December this year, right? For the last entire half year, this would be the break, and up we go. The resistance would be around 1.5 trillion, and then I think that would be a small resistance, and then boom, right? That's what people call altcoin season. But isn't it better to get in here now, as I have been saying, calling for altcoin season around here? Isn't it better to get in now rather than wait for confirmation here? Because I think it's highly likely we get that breakout. Now so bull flag, and also because of this rising trend line, we must hold this 1.05T area. If we do get another dip on the alts, we can wick down, but that's hold the 1.0506T trillion area, and up we go. That would be another great opportunity to buy. So this is total crypto market cap including ETH. Let's have a look at total market cap, but not including ETH and Bitcoin. So looks a little bit weaker. It actually, well, looks a little bit weaker in the last 3 weeks, because doesn't have ETH, which did a 2x run, right? But it does look stronger on the overall chart than what we just looked at, than the chart including ETH, because right, it didn't have the ETH breakdown. That was the ETH breakdown, and it didn't include that. So it stayed above this trend line this entire time. I do think we just need one more dip, something like this, and then boom, up we go. So the level we really need to hold then is something like 320 billion, and then up we go. 320 billion, something like that, and up we go for total crypto market cap. So what I'm going to show you guys others, and then I'm going to give you the conclusion of which kind of altcoins should we be looking at. For others, that's the log chart. See if we can link up a trend line here. Not really, not quite. It's not not quite. I I don't like that trend line a lot because it's only got these two lines of support. We never came down to touch this trend line. So anyways, the support here would be something like 200. This is all the altcoins except the top 10 would be a pullback to around 1995, just below 200 billion, and then up we go. So other than the top 20. So basically, this is the one that most people have their portfolio riding on outside of the top 10 because the top 10 doesn't look that exciting. So, and it's so small actually, it's just 200 billion. I mean, compared to like Apple is like 3 trillion, right? So basically, this kind of a move is what people really call altcoin season. But I was calling for it around here once again, as I was saying, isn't it better to pick it up before it does a 3x, 5x on the coin, and then you think, oh, there has been consolidation. So basically, clear double top here, and I do think we get that blow off top, and these smaller altcoins will take off for that big leg up. Yeah, and that's what people have been waiting for so long. I first called for it in early November. It was around early November. It would have been about here on this candle, on the start of this candle, and then major round trip. And then I called for it again to say Bitcoin goes to 94K and altcoins came up to double top and then major round trip again. That's why all these altcoin seasons feel so exhausting, because they make this move and then they round trip. They make this move and they round trip, and then we're here now. So the next one, I think action finally comes to altcoins and something like this. I would want to say that not to expect the kind of altcoins that we saw in altcoin season we saw in 2021, because that was due to Fed printing so much money. I don't think we get that this time, but a pop up above new all-time high gets to like even 500 billion, 600 billion, like 700 billion, like a 3x move here for the entire index would still be a very good altcoin season. Some smaller coins would do 10, 20x. So speaking of the smaller coins, let's have a look at Fartcoin and Virtues. So what has been happening is that Fartcoin showed some real weakness because it dropped. It dropped to basically 86, and then it bounced up. This bounce was due to Coinbase listing it, but you can see it can't even close a proper hammer. It needs to close at 1.12 for this to be a proper bottoming tail, right? And yet we don't want this red zone to be so big, right? Like for example, this is a proper bottoming tail hammer, and that at 23 cents gave us, a very good indication that there's buying pressure here, and eventually bottomed two weeks later at 20 cents, right? So here, we don't want the body of the candle to be so large. We want it to be as small as possible, even a bit of green, like 1.12 would be the minimum for a bottoming hammer or bottoming tail. But we closed instead at what? On the weekly on 103, 104. So then I think we could still, do this. We could still meander lower, and of course, high 80s, low 90s, high 80s would probably give us a nice entry opportunity. If Bitcoin does go to mid 90s, which could still happen, looking less likely, but could still happen. If that happens, Bitcoin goes low 90s and we get panic, and then 70 cents or even high 60s would be the place to pick up some Fartcoin. Virtues, for example. Virtues also, this was, I mean, this is, so this was a classic topping tail. I've been saying that we get inside this channel, and this obviously wasn't a great hammer. This is not good, so I think we meander lower. So basically, if we look at, this is the scenario I was saying, we would get in something like this, chop around within this rising wedge, break down, retest, confirm the breakdown, and then meander lower. So we could get a chance at 132. But then again, look, if you don't want to miss Virtues on the way up, because I think it's about to hit a new all-time high, that's what CZ would want. It would likely get above $5. Then set some buy orders at $1.60, then probably $1.30s, and dollar cost average on the way down. In extreme scenario, if Bitcoin had a panic, wick down to 95 cents, and then $1.05 area. Okay, thank you for tuning in, folks, and I'll catch you guys for next episode.